Hey there, everyone. This is Kyrix, and I'm coming up with a very late This Week in Kyrix for the week of Wednesday, January 17th, 2018. It's currently Sunday the 21st, and if you're thinking, well, Kyrix, you're really late on this one, I'm actually not. I recorded This Week in Kyrix twice. Well, I did it twice. I recorded it once. That's a whole other story. Basically, I started to make the transition to doing 7 Days to Die, you know, and that was just going to be a thing. Like, oh, I'm going to play 7 Days to Die as my background, like how I used to do Minecraft and so on. The problem with this is, however, and you might hear the PS4 in the background I'm playing, because I've been sitting here trying to fuck with this thing for the past, probably hour and a half, which means there's been no gaming at all, and I haven't played this thing in like 2 days. So I want to get some shit done. But anyway, so I fire up 7 Days to Die on my Let's Play account, because I have a Let's Play account on the PS4. So I play 45 minutes, because it can only record up to an hour, and I don't want to have it cut off. Unbeknownst to me, I fucked up and pressed the stop recording button 2 seconds after I started recording. So I did 45 minutes, did my whole ramble, all that fun shit, for no reason. And I considered just, calling it a mulligan, but I'm like, no, I want to do this, and I don't want to just come in halfway through a level. So what I did was I reset the thing and started it again. This time I got a full 45 minutes after. I actually got like 54 minutes out of it. So I'm like, okay, cool, this is recorded. So I put it on my MP3 player, because it's a USB drive. Put it on the computer, and it won't copy, because I have to copy it to a folder. So I erase it, copy it again, nothing. Try to upload it to YouTube a couple minutes ago, nothing. Basically, something went wrong in the process, and even when I did the file share version thingy, I did so much. I tried uploading it to YouTube directly from the PlayStation, and nothing fucking worked. So I wasted the better part of 2 hours just recording something that you guys are never going to see, because I can't get the goddamn footage off. And I would love to do this with my capture card, and may do so in black and white, because I can't get the damn thing to go in color. But, what can you do? So, I'm just going to give you the cliff notes of what happened, because, quite frankly, I am so over this bullshit. Okay. Tomorrow, in about, let's say 32 hours, about 2:30 p.m. tomorrow, I'm due in Tampa for a hearing to decide how my disability is going. This is the first time that I have been able to actually interact with someone and not just answer questions, because that's all they were doing, was taking down data when I spoke to the doctors. They didn't give a shit about my anecdotes or backstory on things, just, like, oh, this is a thing, this is a thing. So I can actually, I don't want to use the word negotiate, but it's the only word that's popping into my vocabulary at the moment. Negotiate to describe the situation I'm in. And with any luck, come Monday night, I'll still have my disability check. If not, I believe I still have one more appeal that I can make, which at this point, if I fail this one and have to make another one, all this is doing is buying time for me to try desperately to get some kind of a job. But that's the situation I'm in there. Pokemon, I did moderately well. I did worse than I usually do, I will say that much. But I got my 2 required battles to round out the month, and only 2 weeks in, too. So proud of myself. Well, 3 weeks in, I guess. I think this is a 5-week month. But, but yeah, the basics of it is that, oh, what do you know? Q's Winter Wonderland is still running. That's a thing. The basics of it are, that the start of the month we did this big tournament, and I had like 5 matches, and you need like 10 to round out the month, and I had 5 in one day, 4 of which I won. And over the next 2 weeks, I proceeded to get the remaining matches that I needed. And last week, partly because I finished off my list so early, I just kind of half-assed the battles. I just went in kind of hoping to have fun. And we're actually setting up, and I'm almost done with it now. When I recorded this both times before, I was nowhere near as far along. But the situation now is that to keep competition from stagnating, I have decided that we were going to do something. Because a couple of our battlers use the same fucking team over and over and over again each week. And on paper, there's really nothing wrong with that. I mean, work with what you got. If something ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? But the problem is, we have a girl there, and she's a really good battler. She's one of our top tier players, which is really amazing because the first day she came in, I completely fucking steamrolled her. But she has really come into her own, and she is really good. But the problem is, she battles the same 6 Pokemon week after week, which is fine, but she doesn't adapt. Like, she will lead with Ho-Oh every time. And when she does that, I lead with something that can kill Ho-Oh. So before we even start, she's down a Pokemon. You know? And she uses Mega Tyranitar to basically back clean up for Ho-Oh. Her last ditch thing is her Magnezone that has a Z Crystal on it, you know? She's predictable, and that's a problem. We got another kid who doesn't play as much, he isn't as good, and he has a team that it's decent, but it could really use some work. We have another kid who's kind of enthusiastic, but he doesn't know how to train his own Pokemon. And we have another one who he really does try. He does make a genuine effort, and I just like fucking with him. It's just so fun to crush his little hopes. He's the brother of one of our other top tier players, and honestly, he's better than he thinks he is. I just really like fucking with him, and unfortunately, it has the side effect of destroying his self-esteem, and I should feel bad about it, but oh god, he is so dramatic sometimes. But no, he's gotten a couple legitimate wins over me. Some big deal wins, too, not little half-ass throwaways. Like, he's beaten teams that no one else did, you know? And then we promptly have a rematch, and I hand him his ass on a plate, so, you know, but, what I came up with, one rejected idea, and admittedly it wasn't a great idea to begin with, but one of the ideas that was rejected was the idea that we, what was it? Basically have a big trade-off where everyone just takes Pokemon, like picks a partner and trades a Pokemon with them, you know, so that we just mix things up. But then if you do that too many times, like if we have 6 trades, suddenly you have nothing of your original team left, you know, and that's kind of stupid. So the alternative is we take the 3 big players and we each breed a Pokemon for one of 4 people. Well, we breed 4 and each one gets 1. And mine are Mega Evolutions, and I have turned around and, you know, I've got them almost ready. They're all bred. They all have their moves. They've got their EV training. I just got to do their levels and a little bit of hyper training on a couple of them, and then just give them their Mega Crystals and send them on their way. You know, they're fucking ready, if you get my drift. They're completely in the zone. But, anyway, let's see, what else we got going on top of all that? We've got, I had hero clicks, because I do that. You know, it's a thing I do. I play the hero clicks. The heroic clickers, if you will. And, I did. I did better than I had any fucking business doing. We did 400 points, you know, theme team. Which I love to do theme teams, and almost without fail, I will play a theme team. But I hate when the judge makes it theme only, because sometimes you just want to put a bunch of awesome figures together that don't have keywords, you know? And I need to have a talk with him about that, because it kind of stifles creativity. Which you'd think would be the opposite, like, oh, you have to make a good team out of a theme, but you can also do so much with non-themed figures. There's a lot of synergy out there, you know? And, the judge played the first round against me, and he did. First off, we didn't discover this until the end of the second round, but he had a 500-point team, and this was a 400-point tournament. And he blames me, like, oh, you were yapping at me. You got the ability to yap, and it just fucking clouds your mind. And I'm like, no, I wasn't talking to you when you did this. Don't blame your bullshit on me. You know? What it is he's absolutely garbage at math and refuses to admit it to anyone, even though everyone knows it. It's kind of one of his defining traits as a person, is the fact that he can't add to save his goddamn life. You know? And he can't. He really fucking can't. And, anyway. Don't mind me, I'm also playing some 7 Days to Die. As I talk, I'm being real professional here. Just top shelf professionalism. Nothing but the best from Kyrix. No, anyway. He played some real bullshit. He was playing the Justice League as Gods of Apocalypse. And I saw him pull this out. I'm like, you're pulling that cheesy bullshit. They're not cheesy. I'm like, they're fucking cheesy. I played against the Batman. They're pure goddamn cheese. And at the end of the match, he's wondering why I'm so pissed off. He's like, oh man, I guess they really were cheese. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I'm like, you fucking should feel bad pulling that garbage. Because every single time, without fail, every single time that I try and play a legit team, someone pulls bullshit like this, without fail. And eventually, I get sick of it, and I retaliate by pulling even worse bullshit. And everyone else has to deal with it. You know? And to put it into perspective, I was playing, my theme was a dual theme. One was a real theme and one was a joke theme. The real theme being anti-registration from Civil War. The joke theme being Black History Month, because I played Black Panther, I played Luke Cage, I played Falcon, I played Goliath, the Bill Foster Goliath, and I played Cloak and Dagger. With the joke about Cloak and Dagger being, well, I've got all these black guys, I gotta have a white one on. Hey, it's not my fault. I didn't decide to take this character and pair him with a white woman. That he is in continuity having a crush on, so blame Marvel for that shit. I didn't write it. But, basically, every single aspect of my team was countered by those Justice League characters just existing. Not anything they did, just the fact that they were on the map fucked with me. Like Superman is, if you're within this much of him, you can't use super strength objects. Well, that's where Goliath and Luke Cage's damage came from, using super strength. So, that fucked me over. You know? What am I going to do now? So, Green Lantern's power is, if they're near him, they can't use stealth. Well, shit, Cloak and Dagger and Black Panther are now useless, because they kind of literally survive on stealth. And Flash is like, oh, you can't heal if you're near him. Well, when Goliath dies, he heals everybody, so that's out. But I didn't even damage him, much less score a point. My second round opponent had to leave early due to a family emergency, which was kind of bullshit. And it turned out he couldn't even do anything either, so he didn't need to leave. But he didn't know that until well after the tournament was over, so. Or rather, he absolutely did, but no one at his place fucking believed him until he was already back. So that was stupid. And of course, my third round opponent, he just kind of hit the fucking button. He just wasn't feeling it at the time. He didn't play seriously, and it just... I just had a weird fucking set of rounds that week. You know, I mean, it's just... sometimes you just have one of those weeks where you can't get shit done because no one's feeling it. But anyway, next week we've got my tournament, my special superhero team-up tournament, which I'll go into detail when it happens. Likewise, next week, though you'll get it on a different This Week in Kyrix, I have my Star Trek tournament happening, so that's going to be fun. Today, or rather yesterday, was actually supposed to be my day to go into Largo to play Tomb of Horrors. But I woke up, because I couldn't get to sleep until real late, so I woke up feeling groggy as fuck. You know, and I'm like, oh, do I really want to go? You know, because for one thing, I had to go to the bank and get money out, but my bank's ATM used to do single dollars, and it recently stopped doing that. So I would have to go to the bank, and then on top of that, deal with getting change for $5, you know. So it's just, I wasn't sure if I was willing to do that right then, you know. Which, fair enough, you know. Sometimes you're just not in the mood to run errands. So I contacted Anubis and talked to him about borrowing his 3DS, because he lives near the place. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll be heading out shortly. So I decided to go to the bathroom, and my stomach's doing that special kind of rumbling that just tells you you're going to have a bad day, you know? And as it turns out, my stomach was fucking with me. While I did kind of have the runs at the time, it wasn't something that didn't happen for the rest of the day. But I wasn't going to risk riding the bus for an hour and having to suddenly go to the bathroom, you know? Turns out I needn't have worried, but I didn't know that at the time, so. Really wish you guys could see me on 7 Days to Die right now. Building a fucking pyramid out of wood. I don't know what the hell it is with me and pyramids. I'm not really that fascinated with them. It's not like, oh, Egypt, you know. I'm not one of those people. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Everyone's got their fascinations. I think it's just the fact that I can build them, you know. But yeah, I'm just building a fucking pyramid right next to my house. Because I have literally nothing else to do while I wait for crops to grow in. Because they take their sweet goddamn time in this game. Yeah, I'm just kind of drained. Part of it is this whole disability hearing thing, because I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I don't know that they'll accept my, well, if I'll get my appeal succeed, or if I have to file the next appeal, or if I even can file the next appeal. It could be that whoever's, I don't even know if there's a judge, but if there's a judge, I could get a judge who's just a complete ass and doesn't like me, because I know, not from my experience, but from friends' experience, that that's a thing that can happen. My friend had an issue, which is what got him on house arrest, and the judge fucking threw the book at him. He got a much worse sentence than he had any business having, you know? He was literally slammed with the maximum possible punishment for his, not even for his actions, just for the actions of the people he was around at the time, you know? I'm sure some people would say something along the lines of, well, of course he's going to say he didn't do it, you know? But no, this is the kind of guy where he would say he didn't do it to the cops or whatever. But if he did that, he would absolutely tell his friend, yeah, I totally did that, you know? He's one of those people who owns up to shit. So, the thing in question was basically he was out hanging out with some friends, and they basically said, "Hey, we're going for a ride," you know. Got in the car, and they decided like, "Oh, we're gonna go stop by this guy. He owes us some money," and they beat the shit out of him and robbed him. They, not my friend. He just kind of sat in the car because he didn't know where the fuck he was. He was in a neighborhood he'd never been to, so he had no way of knowing where the hell he was, you know. Yay, a pyramid made of wood. It's so puny, though. I don't like that it's so puny. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like 6 blocks high. I feel so ashamed. Normally my pyramids are like 3 or 4 times that size. Then again, I am kind of working with limited space at the moment. It's not like I know what I'm going to do with the damn thing anyway. I never know what I'm going to do with those things. I just kind of make pyramids. It's a thing I do. It's like a compulsion. But yeah, like I said, part of the concern is the fact that I don't really know how things are going to shape up for me in the near future. Which most people could say they don't know what's going on in the near future, but I mean, you know what I mean. I don't know how this disability thing is going to fare for me, and I hope it goes well. I can only hope it goes well. I can't really do anything else about it. If it goes to shit, it goes to shit. I have no say in the matter, you know. Because believe me, if I had a say in the matter, I wouldn't be getting an appeal in the first place. I'd just be getting my check. But I have no say in the matter. I'm just a victim of circumstance, as it were. Sometimes shit just happens, you know, and you just gotta deal with it. I mean, it just kind of sucks 1,000 yodeling dicks. What can you do? But yeah, I'll have my aunt with me. I'll have my mother with me. They can verify stuff that I don't know, because everything else has been... Keep in mind, I've never had to deal with any of my own records and shit until the past 5 years or so. So these doctors were asking me information that I just didn't have, and nobody had. We still never found a way to get my records back. Because one of the things, and this is partly my mother's fault, my mother never gave this information to me, never left contingency files with my aunt or anything else. And when she got older, her mind just started to go, and now nobody has the information, you know? And she asked, like, well, how could we have lost it? I'm like, well, we moved like 8 freaking times since I was, you know, since my childhood. It could be in any one of those houses, you know? And then I mentioned that there were 3 other times that she moved that I didn't. And I'm pretty sure she took her paperwork with her. I'm like, for all we know, my sister has it up in Virginia. So we just don't know what to do. This is, honestly, I keep talking about the lotto dream. And it's not, it really just has to do with being financially independent and completely free of this bullshit. I wouldn't mind working. I really wouldn't. It's just a matter of getting a job. You know? I mean, I'm a lot more industrious than people really give me credit for. Like, most of my HeroClix friends don't think I'm capable of anything. When I really am. I just don't have a reason to apply myself most of the time. You know? Okay, I just planted something along the lines of 80 different trees. Now what? So the problem is, right now, I've done most of the shit in the 7 Days to Die game that I can really fuck with until I get enough glass to do this top part. And glass is a little trickier to work with. But, it's just kind of a lot going on. Oh, on the plus side, I have been playing the Pokemon card game a lot, and it turns out I'm actually pretty good at it. I mean, I'm not exactly some kind of a master or fucking savant or anything, but I win a lot of matches. I've recently started doing tournaments because I have these little event tickets. And I figured, fuck it, why not, right? And, check this. That girl's not worth selling. I'm gonna break it down. And I have these little event tickets, and I'm like, what do I do with these things? I'm like, oh, I can enter tournaments. But the problem is, I don't really trust my cards. And then I noticed that one of the tournaments is for theme decks, and it costs half as much as the other tournaments. For those who don't know, a theme deck is just a starter deck that you can't fuck with. You just have it, and what's in it is in it, you know? Naturally, this appealed quite a bit to me because while I don't have access to the same decks as everyone else, or I do, I just haven't bought them, it means that I don't have to worry about any kind of super bullshit cards that I might otherwise run into, you know? And sure enough, I think I've done like 6 tournaments. Twice I got taken out in the quarterfinals, because there's the quarter, semi, and finals. Twice I ended up in the finals, and every other time I made it all the way, or I only made it to the semis, you know? Let's see. Don't mind me, I'm just making water bottles, or glass bottles to fill with water, rather, here in 7 days. Well, anyway, I will let you guys go. See you next time, everyone. I'm sorry about the lateness, but it was just so many technical difficulties beyond my control. Bye-bye, everybody.